Once upon a time, there was a poor woodcutter who lived in a hut in the woods with his two children, Hansel and Gretel. The woodcutter's wife had died, and he had remarried a woman who was very cruel to the children. One day, the stepmother told the woodcutter that they could no longer afford to feed the children, and that they must be abandoned in the forest. The woodcutter was heartbroken, but he did not have the courage to disobey his wife. That night, he led Hansel and Gretel into the forest and told them to wait for him by a tree. Then he went away, leaving the children alone. Hansel and Gretel were very scared. They did not know what to do. Hansel decided to gather some white pebbles and drop them along the path as they walked. This way, they would be able to find their way back to the tree if they got lost. The children walked through the forest for many hours. They were tired and hungry, and they were starting to lose hope. Finally, they came to a clearing. In the middle of the clearing was a small house made of gingerbread and candy. Hansel and Gretel were so hungry that they started to eat the house. The witch who lived in the house saw the children and invited them inside. She gave them a delicious dinner and a soft bed to sleep in. The next morning, the witch woke Hansel up and locked him in a cage. She planned to fatten him up and eat him later. Gretel was forced to work as a servant in the house. One day, Gretel overheard the witch talking about her plans to eat Hansel. Gretel knew that she had to save her brother. That night, she waited until the witch was asleep, and then she snuck into the cage and untied Hansel. The children ran away from the house, and the witch chased after them. The witch came close to catching the children, but they ran to a river. The witch could not swim, so she had to stop. The children crossed the river and were safe. Hansel and Gretel walked through the forest for many more hours. Finally, they came to their father's hut. The woodcutter was overjoyed to see his children, and he hugged them tightly. The woodcutter and his children lived happily ever after. They never saw the witch again, and they never went back to the forest. The story of Hansel and Gretel is a cautionary tale about the dangers of greed and the importance of family. It also teaches children that they should be resourceful and use their wits to overcome challenges.